Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our political conversation. And today we want to talk about William Samuel Ruto vision for Africa. Because William Samuel Ruto has come out strongly in the need of making Africa as a continent to realize its full potential by coming together. So William Samuel Ruto has actually given a vision how Africa should be and what should be done so that Africa can be a great continent. So that is actually what we are going to talk about today. But before we dive into that conversation, I could request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends, and if your friends are lovers of politics, then request them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for those ones who have subscribed to our YouTube channel, I say thank you. May God bless you abundantly because you always give us the inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And I could urge those ones who are my viewers that it's good to hit the notification bell. Because once you subscribe and you hit the notification bell, then it means that anytime we come up with any political content into YouTube, then YouTube can be in that position to notify you so that you can watch the content. And now, let us go back to the discussion of the day. The vision of William Samuel Ruto to the continent of Africa. William Samuel Ruto has come out strongly and he has actually given proposals about what we need to do so that we can make Africa as a continent to be a great continent. And one of the proposals that William Samuel Ruto has come forward and has placed to the leaders of Africa is that we need to have borderless Africa. And he has explained that very well, that the borders which we have currently, they were put by the colonial masters and they were put purposely to make Africa not to continue, to make Africa not to trade among themselves. And those boundaries, they were put because Europe actually wanted to own Africa. And those countries which colonized Africa, they had divided Africa into different colonies. And that's why we have those boundaries so that for the colonial masters, it was very easy for them to manage Africa. That's why the boundaries were put there. And therefore, he has explained to African leaders that it is time we need to remove those borders. It is time we need to make Africa to be borderless because Africans are one people who need to walk from one corner of the continent to the other corner of the continent without any barrier or without any restriction. And if we can be able to do that, then Africa will be a greater continent because that will open opportunity for intertrades within African countries. And that's why he has given that proposal that we need to open Africa for the Africa people to trade, to move, to live anywhere they could like to live in the continent. So that is one of the vision of William Samoei Ruto to the continent of Africa. The second vision is about having the Africa Union being functional. And he has said that the African Union we have currently, it is toothless. It does not actually perform its functions to make Africa a great continent. For example, the African Union is supposed to protect the continent of Africa from the exploitation which is actually being done by our colonial masters to the current situation. And for the Africa Union to be functional, it means that it must represent Africa in international organization like the what we call the AU, not AU, the UN. So the AU must be a permanent representation in the UN. And that's when it will work to protect Africa as a continent. So that's why William Samoei Ruto has proposed that Africa Union must be strengthened, must be given their noble roles so that it can protect Africa from the outside aggression. So that's another vision for the Africa continent from William Samoei Ruto. There is another vision of William Samoei Ruto. He is encouraging that we should have one currency in the continent of Africa, so that if we have one currency, the currency will help us to trade within the continent of Africa. And he has given that proposal. And he has also added that before we reach to that proposal, we should trade using our local currency. We should not change our currency to a dollar before we trade with our neighbors. We should encourage doing trade using the local currencies like the Kenyan shillings and the Uganda shilling, or Kenyan shillings and the Tanzania shilling. That is what we should be doing, using our local currency to trade within Africa. We don't need a dollar. That is another vision that William Samoei Ruto has put forward for Africa as a continent. Another vision that William Samoei Ruto has is that because we want to open Africa so that we can trade freely, then it means that we need to have one visa. That visa will help you to travel in the entire continent of Africa. And that proposal will actually remove the restriction or restrictions of traveling within our continent of Africa. So there is another fourth proposal that William Samoei Ruto has put forward. And he has also said that we should have one Africa bank. And that bank will be given that noble role to fund our development within the continent of Africa. And lastly, William Samoei Ruto has told the international community that Africa must have representation in UN. In UN currently, we don't have enough representation there. Not even having enough. We don't have any permanent membership in the UN. And William Samoei Ruto has challenged his fellow leaders that they should speak at one voice, that in the UN, they should have 2 permanent membership with a veto, like Russia, like United States, so that they can share that table as equal partners. Remember, Africa, we have 1.8 billion population, and that is one of the largest population which is not represented in the UN Permanent Security Council. And that means Africa must speak with one voice to have its representation. So that is what we call the vision of William Samoei Ruto to the Africa as a continent. What is your take about that vision of William Samoei Ruto? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time to jump into this YouTube channel, then I request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends, and if your friends are lovers of politics, then request them to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for those ones who have subscribed to this YouTube channel, I say thank you. May God bless you, because you always give us the inspiration to continue coming up with this kind of political content. And whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always hit the notification bell, because by hitting the notification bell, then you give YouTube an okay, so that it can notify you whenever we come up with any political content into YouTube. And with that, I say thank you. May God bless you abundantly until we meet in our next political conversation. Bye.